Peace and blessings. This is the Science Mystic coming to you with another message to help you free your heart and soul. Right now I'm talking about the divine feminine energy of the collective and how it is in a state of victimhood. So I just previously did a video on divine masculine energy and how it is collectively in a state of immaturity. So now I'm talking about the divine feminine and how the divine feminine energy of the universe has been pushed into this state of victimhood. So when I talk about victimhood and playing the victim, it's understanding that feminine energy of the earth, feminine energy of the collective and within women have taken on this "you hurt me" standpoint. And though there has been plenty of things that have happened to the divine feminine that has put them in such pain and turmoil and just all out of balance, to the point where they don't have or recognize much worth or power in themselves. It's caused women to either move into this place of defense or move into a place of callous and coldness. So the divine feminine energy is not meant to be afraid. It's not meant to be in a state of scarcity. It's not meant to be in a state of fear. It's not meant to be in a state of worry. Like, divine feminine energy is and thrives when it feels safe and secure and protected. And because the divine feminine energy has not felt that security in a while, historically, it is the responsibility of the divine feminine and of women to move out of this place of victimhood and of this happened to me and this happened to me, and this place of it's almost like you can't break out of this place of victimhood. And I'm bringing this up because me personally, in my own experience, whenever I have went through things or experienced things in my own life, I've felt the most empowered by other women when they hold me accountable in a way that makes me feel like I actually have power and authority in my life. Not based on what I do per se, but just how I am and how I carry myself and the way I interact with the world. And this is the accountability. This is the moving out of this victimhood stance that, as a collective, divine feminine energy, whether it be neglected or abused or whatever is the matter, this is a space that they move into, and they get into this you did this, trust me, okay? When I was in college and I took a lot of sociology classes, and in my sociology classes there were a lot of women. It was majority women in all of those classes, because most of those classes had to do with rights, equality, things like that. And a lot of the women in those classes you know, they don't, they were angry. Like, they were angry. Like, let any topic come up about something that's not right, or something that's, you know, unequal, or I don't know, bigotrous in their eyes. It was like an all-out war. And I saw this, you know, a lot too when I was taking an anthropology and sociology class, and we started getting into, you know, different things that happened historically throughout the women's rights movements, where women didn't want to be seen as nurturers. They didn't want to be seen as, you know, women who were women because they took care of the home, they took care of the children. It's like they almost saw something bad with that. They saw something that was like bad with that. And I know where that comes from. That comes from the domination that has happened over the feminine energy, that is has almost like raped the feminine out of her freedom and her sovereignty. And the only way for divine feminine to really relinquish herself from that trap and that way of thinking and that way of living is to step into her power and start seeing and accepting how they have power and authority in the situations that and the things that happen in their life, and not in masculine ways, not in ways where I'm going to go protest and I'm going to go do this and I'm going to go do that. No, how are you being? Femininity is all about being. The divine feminine is all about recognizing, how am I feeling, how am I responding, how am I utilizing the energy within me, and how am I transmuting that energy to get what it is that I desire out of life. Femininity also has a lot to do with desires, because desires is like a primal thing for feminine energy. You know, women naturally want things. we're the number one consumer, because we're the ones that are attracted to, and we desire things just naturally, and those desires lead us to creating the life that we want, creating the things that we want in our life. So it doesn't serve the divine feminine to stay in this victim mentality and this cat and mouse kind of dance that we tend to do with masculine energy, because masculinity within its nature is to challenge. And this challenge has been turned into a subjugation and a domination. So instead of it really being a challenge, it's turned into a sexual domination. So in other words, a power struggle that has left the divine feminine scarred and hurt. And we see that, we see that. So I think the biggest thing for divine feminine energy is moving out of this victim standpoint and coming into a place of power and saying, you know what, if I put my emotions or my care into this, I might get more of this back. You know what, if I think about this and I feel this, and that might have consequences. I might need to actually focus my energy on what it is that I want and what it is that's for me and what it is that I'm grateful for, and whatever it is that I don't want and whatever it is that I'm not for, I nip it in the bud as soon as I see it, as soon as it comes into my presence, and I focus my energy and my attention onto what it is that is for me, and that is enough power energetically to shift the entire situation, to shift the entire dynamic of everything. Being in a masculine-centered environment, in a masculine-centered society, we don't, like, women no longer see value in being nurturing, having children, caring, all of the facets and the qualities of being a woman. Actually, from the time that we enter into school, in the school system, unless, we have role models and people raising us that are telling us, this is how a woman is, and this is how we do things, this is how, we have access to the power and the energy of this universe by being in our femininity and by resting in our feminine energy and trusting our emotions and being mindful of how we treat ourselves, how we treat our bodies. All these things are important, and they play a major role in how our life manifests in flowers. And ultimately, the closer that we get to our inner truth and our spiritual truth, the easier it is to be in our feminine energy, and the easier it is to be in our sovereign energy, because we trust in a whole different way. We trust our femininity in a whole different way. I mean, we're no longer feeling threatened. We're no longer feeling like, people that, like, almost like the same domination and rape kind of energy is going to happen all over again. It's a trauma, and it just needs to be healed by counting our blessings and trusting in the power of being mindful, being present, and trusting the universe, because we are the universe. Trusting the flow, because we are the flow. So that's all I had to say on that for now. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Yes. And I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye.